single bit?
It's so good.
Well, I think, the thing with season 1 of any show is you're kind of finding your feet, and you're trying to convince the network that it's worth them, sticking with you. Season 2, you have a bit more freedom, a bit more of a vote of confidence from the network that you can kind of do more episodes and you can get a little more money. And so I think it sort of allowed the show to really find its groove, and the writing staff has expanded a little, including Mark on the team. And so I just think the whole thing kind of coalesces, coheres a little bit more in season 2, and it sort of has all the uniqueness of the first season, but it's ambitious and it's as weird and as eccentric and sort of no ideas off the table. And I do think if you're flipping through the channels, there is nothing else that looks like it visually or sounds like it. So,
especially the way it looks. Season 2 is vastly different than season 1 visually. I mean, it really is.
Well, and sound-wise, we turned the sound up.
Yeah.
A lot last season the sound was low.
Yeah. Kind of got
but we
muddled
turned
a
it
little
up.
bit.
We couldn't even hear each other on set. So,
What did you say?
exactly. We figured that out. It was a technical issue.
The show is wild, but just putting it mildly. Was there anything that you were making the first season or even the second season that you were trying to put out there that was just too maybe inappropriate or too graphic for the network?
Well, we have beeps, so they can beep everything that we're not supposed to say.
I don't think there was anything that we couldn't do. That would have been addressed during the writing. There's some very graphic stuff. For instance, I give birth through my throat. It starts as a boil, it gets bigger and bigger, and then it explodes.
And I know what you're
something
thinking.
comes
You're
up.
like, I think they did that on season 3 of Golden Girls.
Right.
Not this again.
Yeah.
Right.
But we try and do our own unique spin on it.
We do a twist.
You got to go to the neck baby well every once in a while.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's like the mid-season episode.
It's a trope. If you go into tvtropes.com, you'll see it on there. There's a load of
I
examples.
thought it was Home Improvement. It was
Right.
It was Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Go safe in season 2. That's what I said.
Yeah.
So the show's all about dreams, interpreting dreams. Did you guys have any dreams of your own that sort of that you think would be great on the show, or things that stick out in your memory?
That's a good question.
Well, I used to have night terrors as a kid, like Danny,
Wow.
the creator of the show, and I used to spring out of bed and I would just run around the house and I would see my parents and I'd be like, "You're not my parents!" I was convinced that they were imposters, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then I would go and run and I would sit in the empty bathtub, and then they would come in and I would just be freaked out and scared, and I think I got to around like 20, 22, and I kind of started to abate,
Not only is he
It
an
was
executive
terrible,
producer,
horrible.
character, writer on the show, but he's also a patient.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility, because you have a lot of great guest stars, to get Carl Pilkington maybe into a future episode?
Bad idea.
I know, right?
Great idea.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Make a note of that, guys. That's
I've done it.
give him no credit.
I'm okay with that.
Yes, that's a great idea.
I just want to see it.
Well, there's a lot of guest stars in this season, which
Some we
they've
can't even
forbidden us to talk about.
We can't talk
Apparently.
about some amazing
But
guests.
feel free to hypothesize whoever.
Yeah, you really
like,
can speculate.
Maybe Brad Pitt's in it. Maybe he's not.
Maybe Angelina Jolie?
Right?
Maybe
We'll put
both
that
of them
in
at
the
same
headline.
time.
Is Brad Pitt in Dream
Yeah,
Corp?
that's
Maybe,
exactly
maybe
right.
not.
Well, that might be a way to go.
We're not saying he's not.
We're not saying he's not in it. And, we're living in a post-truth age. Anyway.
What we can say is we do have this season 2 Simpsons characters, young actors from The Simpsons, Bart Simpson and Lisa Simpson.
And Jimmy Simpson.
That'll be in the show.
You've got all the Simpsons and the Family Guy.
The Family Guy.
They're all there. They're
Excellent young actors.
All of the Disney characters.
Only during the animation part.
Yeah, Disney and Knott's Berry Farm. They
Well,
did a tie-in.
One new character we do know is in the show is you have a new Jim Henson character. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about working
do.
with
North
developing
North.
that.
I never worked with him. He's very difficult. I didn't work
Jim
with
Henson or the Trash Monster?
North. Well, Jim Henson passed away, but North. I never had a moment to work.
It's funny because Jim Henson's nickname was the Trash Monster. A lot of people don't know that.
When I was a little kid, my mother always reminds me of this. When I was very young, apparently I would just cry. I was like a little bastard. And I would just cry and scream all the time, except when the Muppet Show theme came on TV. And then apparently I would just go quiet for the duration of the Muppets. I would just sit silently, transfixed, and then it would end. And then I was struck.
You go right back to
And
it.
so the idea that I now I voice a creature, a robot made by the Jim Henson Workshop is very exciting.
Jim Henson come back and make you guys another monster for the show, is it possible that Terry might get maybe a robot friend in the new season?
Well,
I can't deny that. I can't say whether or not
we
that
can
does
neither
happen.
confirm nor deny, but there might be a little visitor.
Is there?
Dust bunnies.
Oh, yeah.
That episode.
Yeah.
You know, I like the idea that you're just speculating on things that might be in the show. It's
There's stuff that we should
it's
have
a very
done.
unique way of interviewing.
I'm just
Now,
prodding you guys so you put out what I want.
There are deeper
does an alien
themes.
show up with an Italian accent?
It could happen. You know, there are deeper themes throughout the episodes, and not only literary deeper themes. I mean, for instance, the episode that I'm referring to is really our version of Mice and Men.
There you go.
Goes dark, eh?
It's real. It's real, right?
Right.
Terry has a moment where he has to say goodbye to someone.
Oh, yeah.
That's
dumber
right.
robot. Yeah,
Another
it is.
robot.
There you are.
You know, and it's the Lenny and George story enacted. You know,
The
so
War and Peace episode is particularly ambitious.
Yes.
Particularly in 11 minutes. You'd be
we also
surprised.
have the
We did have to.
Dostoevsky-
We had to trim some of the fat out of the novel.
Right. Quick stuff.
The Dubliners episode is almost incoherent.
Bloomsday is quite amazing.
I just can't wait for the Brothers Karamazov episode.
Yeah, that one we're still working on.
Yeah.
That might be too ambitious.
So we did have a
We
large,
can't get the names right.
we did have a large period of time between the first season and now the second season.
Yes.
It looks like you were to keep pretty much almost all of the cast. Is there anyone that you weren't able to bring back? Maybe they were like secondary characters or even tertiary characters?
That's a really good question. See, Joey's in a coma.
So Stephanie Eileen, she's in a coma, and so you probably won't see her much this.
We have another intern this year, played by Megan Ferguson, who is amazing.
Who's absolutely brilliant.
She's brilliant.
It's it's almost like an Igor character that she takes on.
Played by Lucille Ball.
Or Harpo Marx. I mean, she's really brilliant.
No,
It is. She's brilliant. So we're excited to have welcomed her and to actually have gotten her to be on the series.
And maybe Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors.
When I said, what was that thing that Trump said? What was he saying that when I said X, I meant Y?
Oh,
would,
yeah. We all believe that.
Yeah, I said wouldn't and I meant would.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
In that era.
Yeah, so you're just gonna say they'll definitely be on the show, and by
And maybe later I'll go, when I meant definitely, I said definitely not. That's what I said.
totally
You need your own press
understandable.
secretary to clear this all up for everybody.
So good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Yeah, good to see you guys.
So tell us about going into season 2, what we should be expecting.
We can be expecting a lot of chaos, a lot of great guest stars, a new Jim Henson puppet, voiced by Maria Bamford, which we're very excited about.
It's a richer world, I feel like, the second.
Yeah, I feel like we expanded like the office world and kind of go into all the workers' lives a little bit and see more of what's above and below.
I grew
the Dream
dreads.
Chamber.
I
You
grew
grew
some
dreads.
Oh yeah,
He's
Ahmed's got a whole new look.
Yeah.
Hey.
These steps and some dreads.
Yeah, it's a beautiful look. It's kind of
Very
like
jealous of it.
yeah, it's kind of like Shia meets like Rusted Root.
What's that guy?
I didn't get either of those references. Idiot's still clueless.
Yeah, and I mean we have some
New
amazing
cast member.
new cast
Megan
member this year.
Ferguson.
Megan Ferguson, who's
Amazing.
amazing. We love her so much.
She couldn't be here because she's a mother
Yeah.
Of two.
too.
So, but yeah, she's amazing. She's kind of taken this character of like kind of an Igor kind of vibe, and she's really on it, really all about the science. Robert still has no clue what's going on, but it works. The therapy works.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes there's some fun stuff this year. I'm trying to lean into more of when movies were movies and we were doing a lot of things practically. Yeah, like even sparks fire. Ahmed turns into a lizard at one point because he's mixing up some serum and like full on makeup, like real lot of fun
The makeup
stuff.
worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, and you kind of could tell it had like a Similar, like to the
Johnny, you look like Johnny Depp.
yeah.
Ahmed turns into Johnny Depp.
I got dreads.
That's happened before,
We
though.
replaced.
when people
We're
play-
not supposed to talk about guest stars, but we did replace Ahmed with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's straight out of
Which was a
Fantastic
bad
Beasts,
move.
guys.
We regret
And I'm
it.
sorry.
I'm coming back for it.
But yeah, mostly the stuff that excites me the most is just the practical effects. A lot of slime, a lot of sweat, a lot of like Randy, Mark's character Randy grows this giant cyst that he then gives birth out of.
We have a new Henson character.
Yeah, that's.
Henson creating.
Tell us a little bit about that. When did you guys start working with Henson's Workshop?
Well, they designed Terry, the robot,
Oh, okay.
Stephen Merchant's character. Jim Henson is who made Terry. So we go back and forth and see if we can have some fun with them again. And they were so down. And 88 actually he hits his head when he's pushed into the garbage. We kind of tip our hats to Star Wars in the garbage and
Yeah, I mean like a garbage monster, and it's also like an homage to. I go through like a Die Hard odyssey trying to save the
staff.
business.
And the Henson character was kind of following him around.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
he's really
It's
cool.
beautiful. The new sets this year are amazing. It's season 2, you know, like the season 1. I feel when we look back at it, it feels like the pilot, you know. And this season with 14 episodes, we're able to really lean into the characters and the sets, and we've expanded the world. I like to say it's kind of like an iceberg, where the little exterior of the building, and then it just kind of grows down, and it just keeps going. There's tunnels. We see him at Ahmed's pharmacy this year.
Super cool.
Ahmed has like an employee.
Ahmed has an employee.
An old lady with cobwebs on her.
Yeah, she may be dead. It's like hard to tell.
I think she was when we were filming.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joe Farkas.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She was great. She smoked enough cigarettes.
She's like the woman who plays Ahmed, works in Ahmed's pharmacy's name as an actress named Joe Farkas, and she's in real life 91.
Yeah.
And we covered her in cobwebs, and she's just like sitting there. Sometimes she's just playing Xbox in the back when Ahmed's like with all these Japanese gangsters, and it's just really fun. Like I said, in 14 episodes, we were able to really expand the world and dive into the characters more than just showing what the workplace is about.
So you guys are finished with production on the whole season then? You're not
Correct.
saying, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How much of a plan do you have moving forward? Do you have like an ideal length you want the show to be, or are you just telling stories infinitely in this world?
I mean,
I feel like you have these amazing long-term ideas about it, and every time we start writing a season, it comes down to like, oh, that's too much for now. We need to just introduce people to these characters again and what this world is.
We've been working on this for 5 years. We just have to keep in mind that it's only season 2.
Yeah.
And still introducing people to, like, there's a brand called Wemmick that owns Dream Corp, and you kind of see it peppered around.
Easter eggs of it.
And we haven't really even dove into that yet. But, you know, all the products, there's a bunch of new drinks this year because Roberts can't eat food, you know. He can't eat solids since Diane left. He hasn't been able to eat solid food, so he drinks all of his meals. Like you'll see at the screening today in Jimmy Simpson's episode, the new he's drinking a tuna casserole, nice warm tuna casserole, liquid form, and Jimmy ends up, you know, in true Jimmy Simpson fashion, has a night terror and screams and knocks the tuna casserole out of Doctor's hand and hits Megan in the nose. Her character's name is B. Hits B in the nose, and she spends the rest of the episode just bleeding.
Yeah, that one, she really reminded me like Lucille Ball. Like when you watch Megan, it's like
she
a
is
classic TV actor.
That is a great comparison for her. She is basically Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
We
really got lucky.
Yeah, really got lucky.
Watching it.
So it sounds like you do all of it with all the practical effects and things. It sounds like you design a certain amount to torture your actors.
Yeah.
That's why I became a director.
Yeah. It is kind of fun. Like every episode, someone else is going through something.
As long as
you got a thing on your face all day.
I'm like essentially waterboarded with like.
Oh my
water
God!
At some point.
88 goes in for his weekly therapy, and he is just being waterboarded by Ahmed with like Ahmed and Roberts have developed this new machine called the AMPL 1000, which he just kind of makes up on the spot. It's the ample one.
It's a smell-o-vision.
And it's yeah. So he's like, what I think is, if you can smell it, you can dream it. So he then goes through and tries fresh cut grass, peanut butter, and all the way, and we try to get 88 back into the womb.
Which just involved me like being passed out as they're just literally shooting junk into my face and nose.
Yeah.
And that was terrifying.
And while shooting, I thought you could have been hurt.
No,
Like, should we check on him?
You want to know what? There's a lot of times where we're like, why is the SAG rep here again?
Who keeps blowing that whistle?
Yeah. And meanwhile, it's just like Ahmed's a lizard running up. He's on wires, like running up a wall. 88's getting waterboarded. Randy has like
Puked
a
on.
Yeah, puked on.
oh man.
That first season where Mark had the hair, he grew hair, and then Jello wrestled with the guy.
That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah, just a lot. Like, I love leaning into the practical of it and really shooting it for real. Like, trying to make something that, that feels nostalgic when you're watching it. So, when we remember what we remember what Goonies feel like, and Explorers and Flight of the Navigator. You remember these movies in your head, and then sometimes you go back and watch, and you're like, oh, it doesn't really look like that. But I'm trying to make something that looks like you remember it to be, if that makes sense. But that's what I'm interested in. Is like it feels like you're remembering it.
Do you guys have any crazy dreams of your? Oh, sorry. Did you guys want?
No, go ahead.
Do you guys have any crazy dreams of your own to sort of tie into the theme of the show? You want to share?
My crazy dream is to keep doing Dream Corp as long as possible. It's so fun.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and like I feel like to me it seemed like the MO was making the live action world just as vibrant and like out of this world as the Dream, because the Dream is easy to animate. It's not easy, but it's you can make it anything, and I feel like we really accomplished that this season. Like the live action world is it's crazier than the Dreams.
Yeah. Well, I feel like my real dreams can't compete with like the dreams in the show, because it's like this. They're almost like these beautiful dick jokes every time.
Yeah, that's
it's like they're
your
like
dreams.
The dream part. Mine. This is my life. Is beautiful dick jokes.
When anyone asks me what I do, I like to say I make highbrow dick jokes.
Yeah.
That's Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Planning.
Oh, I go not all dick jokes. I go through like a vagina in the wall.
Oh yeah, there's this one episode called we won't tell the name of it yet, but 88 kind of goes on a psychedelic trip that
Because
Ahmed
Ahmed
leads.
doses
Oh
me.
yeah, I'm the shaman.
Yeah.
There's so much
much
to
that
take in 14 episodes, and we're just like happy to be still doing it.
Thanks, you guys.